Hey! I bet you can't believe what's finally happening. Oh, it's been a while. Fummins, poor thing. Keep walking by it, seeing it in here, just sitting this, doing nothing, collecting dust. It's time. We got the engine back. Leg arms is gonna do it. I'm gonna supervise. Let's get the Fummins back. We need it. Nice little fire cat sitting up there, F7. Actually pretty low hours. We don't really drive it very much. But
well, we need snow.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. It's January 2024 now. Not a lick of snow out there. It's been very warm, but it's gonna change. They're talking sub-zero temps next week, so that's why this is going on here, getting this out today. I've like forgot what it looks like in here. It's been a while. I don't smell mice. I think we're good there. At least the mice didn't get in. Dust sure did though. Wow, look at the cracking in these tires. These are brand new tires. We did this Fummins. Was that 6 years ago? 5 years ago? Rubbers just aren't as good as they used to
be. Really appreciate you guys being on the journey with us in what we do in Welker Farms, which is pretty much everything. Yeah, everything. We do everything. We try to, at least. We're not afraid to tackle projects, let's put it that way. And this is an easy project. But what sucks about this project, it's been on hold for a very, 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 very long time. Like a year and a half or 2 years. I don't know, it's been too long. But the best thing is we actually have a motor that finally got machined, finally got put together. We didn't have the time to build it. And honestly, I don't know if my skills are good enough to do that. I probably could have built a motor, but we don't need more problems in the future of it breaking. So we had it professionally built. That there is a 12 valve Cummins. Now I'm gonna give you a little history on this truck. This is 4 trucks in one, okay? We bought it with the Fummins engine, well, Cummins into the Fummins, and the guy had the interior completely ripped apart. And he sold it for quite a bit cheaper than what he had in it. So the story is, the chassis is a 2003, and it was decked out. I think it had the 6.0, everything, all the bells and whistles you could get. Somebody decided to have an engine swap because the 6.0 isn't very reliable. Obviously, we know those problems. And they put a 12 valve Cummins in it. Then they rolled the truck. Yeah, cab was all junk. So then the guy that we bought it from bought it, found a 1999 body and front bumper and back, you know, flatbed on it. And he bought that truck, took all that stuff and put it on this chassis. Okay, so there's 2 trucks right now. Then he took all the interior out of this cab and all the wiring and tried to do it himself to switch it all out to put all the nice stuff from the other one into this cab, and he got overwhelmed and pretty much shelved it. So when you turn the key on, the window wipers would try to start or go when you're trying to start it, and just all weird things, okay? Like it was a mess. Okay, so that's 2 trucks. So we bought it with all that problem. Then I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I try to go through all the wiring, which he had a complete mess. And I was like, I could do it. It's gonna take me a while. Well, then I happened to think about, I was like, you know, there's a truck that's wrecked here in Shelby, and I kept seeing it when I drove by. I wonder if they'd be willing to make a deal with me. So here's the third vehicle, okay? It's a 2002 and pretty much bare bones, but I wanted the dash, I wanted all the harnesses and everything that goes inside the cab. And in order to do that, he said, well, if you can sell this truck, which had a V10 in it, and you know, sell the motor, transmission, the chassis, you can have the interior. You can have whatever you want off of the, you know, the dash and stuff. I'm like, sweet, all right, I can do that. So I sold the motor, I sold the axles, I sold the truck, and I pulled all the wiring and dash out, put it in this thing, and did a lot of fabricating and a lot of other things. So there's 3 trucks right there. So 2003 chassis, 1999 body, and then you've got 2002 wiring inside the cab. Now, you're probably wondering, where's the 4th one? Well, come on, guys. The 12 valve. It came out of a 95 or 94 Dodge pickup. And there you go, 4 trucks in one. Ta-da! It is a blast to run. Oh, is it fun. And you're probably wondering, well, why do we have the motor pulled? I know I'm rambling a lot, but it's been a year and a half and I'm giving you guys an update on what's going on. The reason why we had to pull the motor, for those that don't know, is we had an injector go bad and it was shooting fuel in there, and I was driving it, pulling a trailer, and I was barely loping it along. I wasn't pulling it hard. I didn't have anything on the trailer really. Well, it cooked the piston fell apart, scored the cylinder, and the damage was done. Yeah, that's that. So I pulled the motor, and of course with the whole COVID thing and everything that's going on, getting parts and stuff was crazy. And the shop was super backed up. So anyways, we got the motor back. Now, the motor, they went through it, made sure everything was good. They had the pistons ceramic coated, they bored it out. They had to get a new head because the head was cracked, and that cost a little bit of money. The turbo, surprisingly, was in great condition. Even though some metal aluminum pieces went through the turbo, they scoped it, they looked at it, and everything looked fantastic. And it's got new injectors, and they went through the injection pump and went through the whole thing, new bearings. It is going to be a monster, because it was a monster. They didn't really change the way that the wastegates were set up. They didn't change any of that stuff because it ran pretty darn good. So that is the deal with the Fummins. All right, now, let's get busy. What do you think? First things first, pull the bumper off, slap the motor in there, and drive it out of the shop. Let's do it. I did a couple things inside the engine bay to make sure it's kind of ready to put in there. And so I'll do that in just a second. But I just want you guys to know how cold it is out right now. It is a negative 23 degrees. A little chilly out here. Oh man, it is a cold biting to the face. Yeah, so that's why I'm inside here doing this. Fun! Put this thing back in.
There we go. Got her dropped down.
I got the supervisor here. Yeah, don't run away. Hey, I need you.
I was looking for him.
Anyways, we got the motor pretty much in. In like 10 minutes, we'll get this thing like turnkey ready. What do you think?
Yeah, 10 minutes turnkey ready. We got to find the key. We got to find the mountain bolts. We got to find the intake mat. We can do it.
That's going to take 10 minutes to get all that done. So we're good. So anyways, it was a little bit of a challenge to try to get over the main support that they have on the frame here that ties the frame together and the firewall. So we had to take the back valve cover off like so because it was just too tall in the oil pan. But we got it over that, and now we got to mate these two together, the engine and transmission together. And you've got a flywheel with a bunch of little splines in there, and there's an output shaft that goes from the transmission into that flywheel clutch assembly, okay? We got to get it matched up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and try to line it up, and my dad's going to try to push that cherry picker in, and we'll see if we can get the two to at least go together, and then we'll have to put bolts and so forth, and then engine mount, and you get the idea. We might have to block those wheels, actually. Well, there we go. Went in some. Keep going. All right, stop. We're gonna have to block those wheels. Okay, it's going in a little bit more. We need to rotate the engine a little bit. So what I mean by rotated, you see how the engine's kind of cockeyed? If we take like a strap somewhere here with a ratchet up to here, we could probably manipulate it over a little bit. Where's a good strap? That's not shredded, because they're all shredded. Yeah, I think this will work. It's got a big tie knot in it. Should work fine.
You only go so far with that knot.
Is it just lifting it up?
It's just lifting it.
Let's just try one link and see what it does. Okay. It's still cockeyed a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit more. We should do one more link.
Okay.
All right.
So now I'll crawl underneath and then we'll see where we're sitting. So right now it's pulling it's tilted back too much.
Okay.
Can you let it down a little bit? All right, we got the motor back in, which is awesome. I got a few bolts on the bell housing that I got to finish up, or the transmission, just a couple of them on there, which is fine, but it's in there. Mounts are on, awesome. That's where it's going to be. I still have to hook up the exhaust. I still have to hook up the radiator hoses, the radiator, the whole front end. I got to finish putting the fan housing on, the serpentine belt on. I got to do the fuel lines. I got to put the power steering pump, the vacuum lines, clean it all up, a few wires, put fluids in it, and try to start it. But before I do that, what I have to do is I got to take this harmonic balancer off. This is a new harmonic balancer. The other one that was on it, the people at the shop are like, I would not run that. The rubber's going bad. Now you're probably wondering, what do you mean by rubber? So right here is a rubber piece that goes around, and that keeps the vibration from the engine. This helps the crankshaft be balanced or take the vibration or something. It does something special to the motor. I don't fully understand it. Some people do. Me, I don't know. I just know I need it. But what I need to do is to make the tachometer work. When we first got this truck, I couldn't figure out what was going on with the tachometer, and finally figured out how to make it work because the guy didn't know what he was doing. And so what I did is the original motor that came out of that other truck that I took all the wiring out of, took the camshaft positioning sensor out of that motor, made a bracket. This bracket bolts to the block right here, and what it does is it will sense that harmonic balancer spinning. Now this is a 4-pulse system, so you have to have 4 pulses. Now how do I make the pulse? What I did is I took the harmonic balancer to the end mill, and I made 4 equal slots in this in the harmonic balancer. And then that way, when I have that camshaft positioning sensor on the motor, as the engine rotates, it will on, off, as it spins around, and then that gives your torque converter, or not torque converter, but your tachometer, your engine speed. So, get it? Understand it? Got it? Awesome. So let's take this off, and let's go to the end mill and see if we can get it to mill. Except for the end mill's got some problems. Dad's over there trying to figure it out. And if we can't use the end mill, I'll figure something out. Maybe a grinder. I don't know. So anyways, let's pull it off. There we go. So then what I got to do, like I said, I got to make sure it's equal. I don't want to get it off balance. And this is where it's going to take me a little while to figure out the markings where I need to cut it. But luckily for me, I have 4 bolts here, so I can just do straight edge, make slots, and away you go. Fun. Now that looks kind of weird.
I heard, did you hear it kind of just hit?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to have to take that apart.
Something's weird with that.
But I don't think it's that, so I'll put that back together again.
All right, well, we got to figure it out. This switch here is bad. So what we'll end up doing is we just wired the 2 together, because this is a 220. And then what we'll do is we'll just unplug it and plug it in when we're ready. So not really safety, but I got to use it until we get a part made. But yeah, fun. Okay. a little different. So anyways, just gotta take the harmonic balancer and do my magic on it. Boy, is it cold outside. You guys want to see what it looks like? It is nasty. Nasty outside. Oh. Got 2 trucks in the shop. I just went to change my oil because it needed oil change. And I started looking, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Come on. Stinking mice built a nest underneath my intake manifold. The other day, literally 2 days ago, or 3 days, yeah, three days ago, I was in my garage, my nice new house, and I saw a mouse run across the floor. It's like, you gotta be joking me, while I was driving the old Ram. Ram. Anyways, and yeah, I had that parked in the garage, and I thought, well, maybe mice got it from there into the garage. I don't know, maybe I've been carrying mice from this pickup into the garage. What the crap? Come on, this is ridiculous. Well, that's something. Little punks. I mean, at least they got a nice warm spot. Well, no baby mice in there. Makes you wonder what they've been doing, what they've been chewing on. That's something. Ridiculous. Alright. Well, let's put some oil in it. Call it good. This harmonic balancer cradles in the vise right here. And I've got a little piece of steel, keyword little. It's actually a broken plow shank. Put that in there. I'll compress it tight, but before I compress it tight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big chunk of steel that's nice and flat, take this big piece of steel, slide it up there, and then grab a couple shims, and the shims will go underneath there. And the reason why I'm doing that is that way I can get this equal when I'm notching it. Because think about it. The harmonic balancer's got 4 holes. If I put 2 bolts in here and I get this level and I get the end mill perfectly in line with it, I notch this hole, loosen it up, flip it 180 degrees upside down, and then notch the next hole at the same depth. I won't change this for the depth. Then take those bolts out, put them in the other holes, notch out the other 2 in the same way. I should have equal amount of material removed from this harmonic balancer. In theory, it should work, right? But because I'm a farmer, it's gonna work, right? If I did it on the other end, the other harmonic balancer, and I don't remember how I actually figured it out to keep it 4 places, but if it worked there and we never noticed any problems, why not do it again? Let's notch it, guys, because that tachometer is not going to work without it being notched. And it's nice to have your tachometer, so you know when you're going like 3,000 RPM, and then anything above that is explosion. Let's not do that. Okay, let's get this lined up and notch them. So far, I like what I'm seeing. It's cutting a nice, like pretty much a keyway, I guess you could say, channel. Cutting it right in there. I got 2 more to cut, and then this will be done. Is this professional? Probably not. Is this a smart move? Probably not. Is it gonna work? Probably in a maybe yes. So let's keep going what I'm doing and put it together and make this engine run. Okay, slap a little bit of paint on it since I cut it down to steel. let it dry, do a couple other things to the truck, and then call it good. Well guys, I appreciate you watching. We have a few more things we're waiting for on the Fummins to finish it out, but that's in part 2, and it's getting close. And I just want to say, you guys are awesome. I hope you're liking what we're doing, because you know what?
I'm not.
Okay, Nick's not, but don't worry about Nick. You don't mind. Nick's never in the videos anymore. It's all me. I mean, it's probably my hair, you know? But anyways, part 2 is going to be awesome. We're going to fire it up. We're going to get it going. And that Fummins is, we miss it. Let's put it that way. It's been like a year and a half or so.
I miss it.
Nick misses it. I miss it. But anyways, part 2, stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
God bless.